Hey guys, I am running solo so I can ask myself, Fruit Loop, what you know? Did you know that a bolt of lightning contains enough energy to toast 100,000 slices of bread? Who knew? If you consider that each bolt of lightning contains more than 5 billion joules of energy, then the average 1,000-watt two slice toaster could be powered for 84,000 minutes with just one strike. And that's just enough time to toast about 100,000 slices of bread, bagels, English muffins, whatever you prefer. Crazy, right? So Gigi is out um, running around getting ready for her stuff this weekend with her kids. So I'm running solo. It's just our title is everything but the kitchen sink update because this is just several updates that we just want to throw out to you real quick. Before we get started, we want to give a shout out to our sponsor, twocooltshirtquilts.com / Pretty Lies and Alibis. Go check them out. Andrea and them do a great job, and they can take your t-shirts and whatever else, baby stuff, clothing, whatever, and make them into a quilt that is too cool. So, Vallow, Lori Vallow update. The hearing for tomorrow will not be public. Boo. We all wanted to watch, right? So, uh, former Bonneville County prosecuting attorney Daniel Clark told East Idaho News that he had only seen a defendant not restored to competency only once in Bonneville County over the past 20 years. We all want to watch, right? So hopefully we'll find something out. It's going to be sealed, but I don't know. Hopefully we can find something out. Remember, the motion to sever is coming up next Friday. March 23rd is the day the filings by Pryor will be heard. Motion to dismiss the indictment, take death off the table, disqualify the special prosecutor. He's now also asked to see homicide cases that she served as counsel or worked on. So bummer that we won't get to see tomorrow. Everybody wanted to see, but we still gut says she's competent, so we will see. Hopefully, we'll find something out. Barry Morphew. He was in court Friday for a motion to dismiss. His daughters were with him. And I know that's the topic of several of you guys put some questions out. His daughters were with him. Agents with the Colorado Bureau of Investigations testified Friday in a hearing in a defense motion to dismiss the case. They were subpoenaed by the defense. Remember, in April and May of 2021, agents with the CBI voiced concerns that arresting Barry was premature and the worst decision that could be made. They claimed there wasn't enough evidence at that time for the arrest, and nobody told his attorneys that. Agents Cahill and his partner, Agent Graham, took their concerns to their superior at CBI. Sorry, I want to mute there so I didn't bust your eardrum. They argued the investigation was ongoing and said they were waiting on test results and also needed to interview more people. So another reason they wanted to wait was because Barry was still talking to investigators and didn't want that to end. CBI Director John Camper called the DA and the sheriff and asked they wait so investigators could continue talking to Barry. The big concern there was that Barry would flee. Camper wasn't worried about Barry would run, especially since he had spoken to investigators over 30 times. Sorry again, a little tickle in my throat. And thanks for the well wishes. I'm still getting over it, but I'm feeling a whole lot better. I just got a tickle in my throat. But they went ahead with the arrest warrant anyway. So after all that, they went ahead with the arrest warrant. The sheriff testified that there was no rush and he wasn't very concerned Barry would leave, but it's always a possibility. Sorry, guys. The motion is from the claim from the defense that prosecutors withheld exculpatory evidence that could have prevented this from being bound over for trial. The prosecution said Agent Cahill had been discredited and called the motion completely ridiculous. The defense says they would have to cross-examine Cahill. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I had to get me something to drink. Oh, I had a tickle in my throat. Um, so the defense says they would have cross-examined Cahill at the preliminary hearing, and the case would not have been bound over for trial. The judge took the motion under advisement and will rule in due time. He's scheduled for trial in May. So we'll keep you updated and keep an eye on that one. So the next one is Wagner. And remember, guys, if you hadn't listened to any of our previous, you can go back and check out these cases if you're not caught up on them. So Wagner, the defense wants to get transcripts of the grand jury proceedings that were used to indict the Wagner family. They want to know if any of the witnesses testified that George actually shot anyone. Remember, that's still out. They're saying that he didn't physically shoot anybody. But you know as well as I do, you participate in something, you get held accountable just like everybody else. So his attorneys argued that the state is operating based on the bill of particulars that George is a shooter. Bill of particulars is to provide a defendant with greater detail of the nature and causes of the charges against him. His attorneys say that if there's testimony contradicting that he was a shooter, they need to know that. The state says they're not saying he wasn't a shooter, explaining that they don't know who shot who, and also that he didn't have to actually shoot someone to be charged with the murders. The prosecutor said they are allowed to charge someone as a principal offender, and he was charged as one, as was Jake, Angela, and Billy, because they say the family was all complicit. The defense also asked that the state shorten their witness list from 350, knowing all of those witnesses would not be called, and the state says they're in the process of doing that. 350 witnesses. I would not want to sit through that. The prosecutor said they've only received 2 recording of defense witnesses, and they doubt at this point in the game they're only planning on calling 2 witnesses. The defense said that's all they have. So we will keep an eye on that and keep you updated. Remember to check out our social media and follow along there when we post updates on things that we get. So our next one, besides the kitchen sink, is Treqell and Jacqueline West. 2 counts of second-degree murder, 2 counts of willful cruelty to a child, and falsely reporting an emergency. So a judge from Kern County issued a gag order in the case. Investigators involved in their case cannot speak about the case publicly. This was requested by the prosecutor, and the defense attorneys joined in on the request. So in addition to the gag order, the judge also ordered the grand jury transcript and all search warrants to be sealed. The defense was not happy with some of the comments made at the press conference by DA Cynthia Zimmer, saying she indicated their guilt since the grand jury indicted them. And the trial is set for May, but is likely to be postponed. So we'll keep you updated on that one. We're just full of updates. The next one, Harmony Montgomery. Executive Counselor Ted Gassis said at the Executive Council meeting that the Harmony Montgomery case is a good example of why the states need to separate the Division for Children, Youth, and Families from the Department of Health and Human Services, and that the agency may do better independently. And we understand, this all needs an overhaul. It all does. He says after reading Harmony's report, he doesn't think there's enough oversight of Division of Youth and Families with DHHS in charge. In the meeting, he said, the department, I believe, is too big to be managed by one person, and that is nothing against you. I've been saying it for several years. I think if the department was smaller and the agencies were split up, we would have had better control over what happened to Harmony. And if you remember, she was missing for like 2 years before anybody reported her missing. So supposedly the dad had her, the mom didn't. Um, so, um, sorry guys, I got a tickle. It's pollen season down here starting off. So we started having a dusting of pollen on the car. So it messes your sinuses up. If you don't know what pollen is, we have it down here. It's like a blanket on your car when you get up in the morning to go out. Sorry, running a little bit there. So Governor Sununu said that this has been discussed back and forth for years, but overlap can make it very challenging. He did admit there could be a real value if they were able to do it. If you think about it, if you break that down and it's smaller divisions, it would seem that it would be a whole lot better, manageable actually, if you would do it that way. So her father Adam had a hearing last Friday. Nothing major, just housekeeping stuff about discovery and any issues that need ironing out. There is some discovery, quite a bit of discovery, still outstanding as it's literally being generated on a daily basis. And for the same reason, the state at this point has not made a plea offer, just because as the investigation continues, we don't want to make a plea offer without a full knowledge of what this investigation may reveal. And that was prosecutor Jesse O'Neill. Indictments are expected to be presented to the grand jury in a few weeks. There's still no trial date for his current charges on second-degree assault and interfering with custody and child endangerment. And lastly, Murdaugh. So court-appointed receivers want Alec to be held in contempt of court and sanctioned after he filed a disclaimer of interest regarding Maggie's estate, saying he is in a violation of an order that keeps him from moving money around. The property in question is Moselle, where the double murder of Paul and Maggie happened. It is currently listed for sale for $3.9 million as of February. It also includes the Edisto property. In removing himself as a beneficiary to her assets, it would put Buster as next in line to get the property. The receivers allege that Buster's debts, I can't talk, guys, would be less than his dad's, and that would keep Alec's creditors from having access. And a judge will decide whether or not to sanction Alec and to void the disclaimer of interest Alec filed. So those are our updates for today. We had a funny post today on when we shared that Lori's hearing was going to be closed and we couldn't see it. Shelly Peace, which is one of our top fans on Facebook, she had a post and said, if we were as special as her, we could watch through a portal. And that gave me a big laugh. So we will update you as much as we can on all those cases. Remember, tomorrow it's a closed hearing, so we don't think we'll hear anything unless, I don't know what we would hear. It may not be till she appears with Chad that we know anything, I guess. So we'll see, but we will keep you updated. Make sure to follow us on social media. You can check out our website. We have documents listed there if you need to go. I know we just posted the Harmony Montgomery documents. Go check that out. And if you want merch, go to prettyliesandalibis.com and get you a t-shirt. So anyways, guys, thanks for sticking with me. I know it's kind of boring when we just do it by ourselves, but Gigi's out running around. Y'all better pray for her because she has all these kids coming over to her house this weekend. So I don't know if you see my hat. I'm going to start doing hats. Like this hat says, hey, y'all. I'm going to start pointing at my hats. Gigi does shirts for the band. I'm going to do hats. So, anyways, thank you guys for listening, and we will see you soon.